Greetings, fellow degenerates. Today, on the eve of the start of the National Football season and our favorite time of the year, fantasy football, I've chosen to release my rankings for the Quest of the Matchinga. We're going to go ahead and get started. We've got to run through a bunch here. We're going to start with number 12. Last place. Guaranteed to be last place because he's got the worst team. Can't be debated. It is definitely the worst squad in the league, and that is Iena's team. Iena, you did zero preparation. You actually showed up without any shit. You were working off Klein's, and you were asking me questions. Of course I lied to you. Told you stuff that I wouldn't have done, and you just ate it up and ran. You're really going to pay for the lack of preparation you did. You got no quarterbacks. No quarterbacks. You're actually starting Evan Royster in week 1. Evan Royster wasn't even the best running back in the Penn State backfield last year, and he is starting on your fantasy football squad. It's just horrendous. And on your other running back, Sproul's terrific if we were playing in a PPR league, but we're not. So he's just another shitty New Orleans running back who's going to get maybe like 10 touches throughout the course of a game. Drew Brees is the only person you should own in that offense. And you didn't get him, amazingly. I don't know how you didn't get him, but you didn't get him. If you were going to choose a New Orleans running back, you really should have went P.T. Cruiser. P.T. Cruiser is where it's at. Your wide receivers, you have Jordy Nelson, which may turn out to be great. You know, I think Jennings is going to get more of the touches this year, but whatever. The rest of your wide receivers are like fourth-tier talent. They're terrible. They look good on somebody else's bench. You get what you deserve this year, and that's last place. 11th, moving on to Josh Penn, we blow T-blow. You are going to be doing a lot of blowing. You're going to be blowing the rest of our dicks because your team is terrible. Look at your running backs. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. His claim to fame is that he doesn't fumble the ball. That's his greatest attribute. I don't fumble. Then you have Blunt. Blunt isn't even the best running back on his own team. Doug Martin is going to get most of the carries there in that offense. Your only chance is if Maurice Jones-Drew either doesn't play or tears his ACL in week 1 and Rashad Jennings turns into like some amazing stud. But I don't think it's going to happen. Brandon Lloyd is nice. You know, great pick there. But then you have migraines and Troy Smith backing him up. Troy Smith catches an 80-yard touchdown pass once every 3 weeks. Absolutely zero consistency. And migraines, you don't know how long he's going to play. Harvin will miss 6 weeks out of the middle of the season just because he has headaches. Terrible. Too streaky, and you're going to end up in the basement. 10th. I can't imagine how somebody with the first-round pick is going to end up with such a horrendous squad that they're going to miss the playoffs. But Kirsch has done that. You know, Aaron Rodgers, argue it. I think it was funny that they got him to pick it. But yeah, he's probably going to be a stud. He's probably going to be the top scoring player in the league. But after that, you're terrible. Roddy White, he isn't even the best player on his team. He came out and openly said he's not going to get the targets that he got last year. Last year, he was the most targeted wide receiver in football. It's not going to happen. Julio Jones is going to get more targets than he is on their own team. Bad pick. And the fact that you got Ahmad Bradshaw, with all the Giants fans that we have in our league, just shows how terrible the pick that was. No one has ever done less with more than Kirsch. Number 9, and this is a gift. It really just, you know, attributes to how terrible the other teams were that I was able to move Adam's team up here to number 9. Adam, next year when we do the draft, it's probably going to be a good idea not to get hammered drunk in the 5th round. Because if you look after the 5th round, nobody can follow where your picks are. Why are you drawing these guys? Why are you picking so early? Nobody reached more in this draft than you. Doug Martin's a rookie. You know, I know that I hated on Blunt earlier, but Doug Martin could fumble the ball 3 times in the first game, and then Blunt's a starter for the rest of the year. Such a question mark. And then McGahee, you think he's going to be a top 20 running back? The guy's like 35 years old. He's not going to take the punishment. And nobody has him ranked in the top 20 in all the fantasy football stuff I've looked at. You have that awesome, when you look at your wide receivers, if we were in a PPR league, this would be an awesome squad. Awesome. But we're not. Also, you have the best special teams in the league. It's awesome. Best special teams. I don't know if you noticed, but the rest of us waited to like our last 2 picks to pick a defense and a kicker. It was nice of you to get them so early, but it's not going to pan out. You're going to miss the playoffs because of it. Number 8, Klein, the ginger and his vinegar stroke. You just didn't do enough research this year. Just flat out. Forte, That was a great pick like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. They're in a new style offense. It's a hurry-up offense. Same thing that Michael Turner's going to deal with. He's just going to end up getting 2 touches and then he's out. He's not going to be a 3-down workhorse like he was in the past. And then you have Toby Gerhart starting as your running back too. He's like a backup running back. I mean, he's great, I guess, if AP doesn't play and he somehow turns out to be anything more than, the great white hope. But it's probably not going to happen. And you don't have anybody to back it up. I do want to applaud the best pickup so far off the waiver wire, grabbing Owen Daniels, grabbing Kirsch's 5th-round pick off waivers. I applaud, and we all applaud. Number 7, first team out of the playoffs, Kitten Mittens. You have the most boomer-bust quarterback in the league, especially with Peyton facing in Week 1, he's facing the Steelers. Somebody gets in that backfield, rings his bell, he could be out the rest of the season with that neck shit that he's got going on. Your wide receivers are absolutely atrocious. Marcus Colston never lives up to the hype. I know that they got rid of, shipped what's-his-name out to San Diego, but you have no idea who in the same offense is going to get the lion's share of the carries. And with them having so many issues off the field, who knows if the offense is even going to be what it was in the past. Gronkowski's not going to repeat last year's performance. That was an absolutely perfect season. Just not going to happen this year. He's not going to be able to do it. And Michael Turner, like I said before, it's a new style offense. It's hurry up. Jacquizz Rodgers is actually a lot better fit to run that offense. He's just not going to give you the performance that you thought you were looking for with that pick. Now we move into the playoff contenders. The guys who are going to make it into the last weeks, and hopefully, if everybody's healthy, end up this way. Number 6, Second Mile Seduction. Dabiak, I gave you bonus points for the best team name in the league, but then you also got deductions for having your weird fat Jewish girl fetish. Gore and Lynch are old and decrepit. They're freaking terrible. They're old. And who knows if even Gore's going to get the lion's share of the carries this year, but assuming that he does, makes you into the playoffs. Schaub only had 1 good season, and that was before Arian Foster even showed up. Yeah, he's not going to get the performance that he did that year. That was like 2009. Get off him. He's not throwing the ball 40 times a game anymore. Your wide receivers are the best, but is it enough? Is it going to take you through? Number 5, my squad, the Top Hats. I have such a boomer bust squad this year. But with the 12th pick, like I said, on draft day, you don't make decisions. You react. I thought I reacted pretty well. Trent Richardson and DeMarco Murray could be a top 3 backfield, but they're both injury prone. So if they break down, I could miss the playoffs on that. It really depends on those guys being healthy. Des Bryant too being injured. I'm plagued by injuries. If everybody is healthy, produces at a high level, I like it in a team. If not, it's going to be bust. Look at Austin Collie. Just got his 14th concussion here in the last 6 months. His family keeps sending him out there, bringing home the money. But, if he goes out there and he gets another concussion, he's going to end up opening up a daycare facility with Lawrence Taylor. Number 4, Mojo So Dope. Yeah, I hate you. I hate the 3 of you. I just do. I just hate you. I do like your running backs. Your top, I would say that's top 2 running backs in the league, if they both actually try this season. Chris Johnson is famous for showing up in the last 6 weeks of the season, but not in the beginning. Same thing with MJD. If he acts like Chris Johnson did last year when he came back after holding out for so long, he's just going to be ineffective. Him and Rashad Jennings could be sharing all year. But assuming that they both output at a high level like they did 2 and 3 years ago, it could be the best running back tandem in the game. Quarterback's your weakness, and it could put you in the basement if Vic gets an injury, which he's already had one this year. Somebody busts him in the ribs, he's out. He's done. Number 3, Bromance 3.0. 2.0 was better. 3.0 isn't as good, but you still have a really good draft this year. Hopefully for you, S. Jack stays healthy. He hasn't done anything to prove us the otherwise, but he's eventually going to turn 55 years old, and someone's going to bust him up and hit him too hard. Your wide receivers are all hungry. I like them all. And even though Romo doesn't win any games to get his team into the playoffs, he is a great fantasy quarterback. He's going to be throwing the ball a bunch. Number 2, Zach the Goldberg. Congrats, buddy. You did your research this year. You put in the time, and you're going to reap the rewards of hopefully making the playoffs here for your first time. Your weakness is definitely Sean Green. Every year, everybody talks about how great he's going to be. He's always terrible. Especially with the Jets offense failing to score a touchdown in preseason. And then you look around, and Tebow's probably going to be stealing his goal line carries when they run a retarded Wildcat. All your receivers are top tier. I love them all. Eli's going to be great as well. I think he's always gets underrated. And McCoy's just a stud. Just solidifies this group. Your top squad, number one team in my rankings, Tiptoe my Crow-Ho. I really hated this with every fiber of my being to put them at number one. I really hated it. Matt and his auto-draft bitch. But they had to be here. That assuming that everybody's healthy, and you can't assume otherwise, Run DMC is probably one of the best running backs of football. He's got to be top 3 if he's healthy. I thought you got great value with the rest of the guys that you got there, or your other running back. You have amazing wideouts. You got Steve Smith, Miles Austin. All these guys are number one, top tier dudes. Assuming they're healthy, you got the best wide receivers in the league. And healthy, just if everybody stays healthy, top squad. Peace out. See you all on the gridiron. Enjoy the clams, you cocksuckers.